Mr. Carlos Paz Soldan, and I will read his bio very briefly. He's an IT professional and entrepreneur from Lima, Peru, founded Tenet Computer Group after earning his MBA from the University of Toronto. He now leads TechMen Corp, building AI-driven enterprise solutions. Deeply engaged in community service, he supports immigrants, integration, education in South America, and technology innovation through leadership roles with Hispanotech.ca Canada. Well, um, with Hispanotech.ca Canada Welcome Hub and the Alma Foundation. Please make welcome to the virtual stage, Mr. Carlos Paz-Soldan. It's great to have you this afternoon, and he will be speaking on the sub-theme, Tech for Good, building inclusive innovation that serves everyone. Over to you, Mr. Carlos.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. Thank you for the warm welcome. And I believe I have 15 minutes, so I'll jump right into it and hopefully leave some time for questions. That's usually a challenge for me. So I'll start by sharing my screen. So hopefully you can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So yes, my presentation is about Tech for Good and building inclusive innovation that serves everyone. But first, I also want to mention that Hispanotech and CMP, now CIP as well, have had a long association going back to, I believe, 2021. We participated, I think this is pretty much in all the POIs since the beginning. And we share a lot of common goals and missions. And we have done a number of events where we participate together. We will be there tomorrow as well. And I was the president. The new president will be presenting later today at 7 p.m., I believe, and we'll all be at the event tomorrow at the gala. So for context, yes, I am a technologist, I guess, or a technical person, but I'm also involved in a number of community endeavors. So let's get right into it. So the first thing is that there is a lot of talk about technology these days. Technology and AI seems to go hand by hand, AI being the latest and greatest technology advancements, if you will. And it holds a lot of promise. One of the things it gives us is access to all human knowledge ever created. And it is accessible to pretty much anybody that has connectivity. It gives us access to highly trained assistants. So we all have sometimes very friendly type of conversational software that gives us access to all this knowledge, all this information, and it should allow us to make faster decisions, better decisions, be able to work and produce better outcomes and increase our productivity and so on. And the limits of this technology are not discovered yet. We are discovering it pretty much on a day-by-day basis as you use it. So really, the only limit at this point is our imagination. What do we need? How can we formulate it? And do we even know the challenges or problems we have? So that's the promising side of technology. I also see it as a great equalizer. It brings opportunities to pretty much everybody around the world. I'll touch a bit more on that. So whether you are somebody, for example, in Mamba Point Clinic in the outskirts of Monrovia, or a scientist in downtown Toronto, you have access to the same information and the same knowledge base. So you may be able to make determinations or discoveries that before you wouldn't be able to unless you were in in University Avenue somewhere. And if you're a student in Urubamba, that's in the mountains of Peru, or in Tuktoyaktuk, in the north, at the northern edge of Canada, you also have access to the same information. So geography is no longer as important. What is important is connectivity. But the great thing about this is, for the first time in history, we have actionable access to the sum of human knowledge. So every knowledge ever created, it is accessible and available to us and actionable, as opposed to just doing a Google search. This is something that actually gives us the power to do something with it easily. Now, on the other hand, we must not forget that when we say this is great for everybody, really half of the world do not have the access that we enjoy in places like North America or the biggest cities around the world. There is at least 2.6 billion people that are offline. They still don't have connectivity, which represents 32% of the world. So they don't have access to the promise of technology. In addition, there is an additional 18% or 1.5 billion people that, because of cost or language or performance of their connectivity, have also challenges using this technology. So we all celebrate that now ChatGPT has 700 million users and so on, but this is mostly happening in the wealthy countries, not everywhere around the world. So we need to be conscious of that. So if you find that adoption is celebrated and is visible, but exclusion is not as easily identified for the same reason, that what you don't see, what you don't know, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you can't see. So that is one of the challenges. Now, there are, of course, risks with this technology. Many of them have been explored and are being explored on a daily basis as well. There is the issue of bias. So these systems that have been trained and programmed or developed with human biases and data biases also reflect those biases in their behaviors. So whether it's a misclassification on an economic basis, getting a loan application rejected, or from a social point of view, not getting a job because of some kind of disconnect between the reality and what the models, the systems are implementing. There is also a possibility for abuse, and this is, of course, a growing challenge, not just in terms of surveillance by government or bad actors, but also the spread of misinformation, cyber threats, and the easier way to commit fraud, which is technology gives us tools to do good things, and it also gives us the same tools to do bad things. In the end, it comes back to the human intent. But one of the challenges that we want to address, especially in associations such as Hispanotech and the Council of Nigerian Professionals and African Professionals and all the other professional associations as well, is the issue of exclusion. And whether the exclusion is because of connectivity or because of literacy or exposure, this is potentially a big problem in the long run. So the question remains: are we coming to a crossroads where some people will be excluded or not included in all this promise? And will technology bring us together or divide us, further divide us from where we are? And I believe that is a big challenge that we're facing right now. So some of the things that we need to do to promote inclusive innovation is, of course, consider ethics, guardrails and accountability, explainability, and so on. But when we're designing solutions or uses of these technologies, we need to include people in the margins. We need to consider people in the margins, not just the common place, if you will. So for that, it is important that we participate in the creation. So we co-create when these tools are being designed, and also to empower our communities and the CAP and Hispanotech and others. We are doing a lot to try to promote digital literacy among our members and all the people we can communicate to, because without digital literacy, you will fall in that gap of not being able to participate and benefit from the promise. So we have to participate intentionally in this technology creation, not just in the in things like networking and so on, but also doing mentorship and events to promote to our constituents and the society in general. So there are some good examples of inclusive innovation in action. Probably one of the earlier ones was the mobile money implemented in Kenya back in 2007. That's the access to the financial system when you don't have branches, which was a surprising development for people outside of the countries that have limited infrastructure, but at the same time, it was a great response to using technology to overcome a limitation. So mobile money, which now is that concept is applied all over the world as well. Having access to personalized education and one-on-one tutors, that is the best way to educate, is having a tutor. So before you could only have it if you had the money to pay somebody. Now you can have tutors that are part of that are offered to you through AI as well. Access to diagnostic. If you may not be close to a doctor, but you're able to probably do some self-diagnosis or at least get some additional information. And even if you have a doctor, you may not understand what they're saying. So being able to interpret what the doctor said, not just the writing, but also the words that they use. And hopefully the doctors will be using this and make less mistakes as well. There is a lot of applicability of technology as far as facilitating interaction and lowering the barriers to, for example, people that have disabilities, communication by voice, being able to have captions, translation, so you're not necessarily excluded if you don't know the language, describe video and so on, and being able to generate communications that match the level of the audience. So if you want to explain something to a 5-year-old, to my grandmother, or to somebody in between, the systems can help us do that. But the most important thing I believe is that this is going to improve the opportunities. It gives us access to something that before was not available to everybody. So the call to action that I have is in Canada, we always say diversity is our superpower. We must ensure that the innovation includes everybody in that diversity. And I don't mean just people from Africa or from South America. This should include people in different economic statuses and indigenous people that may not be as connected as we are in southern Canada. So how do we ensure that innovation leaves no one behind? People that don't get to participate will be not just excluded, but in the future would be part of that separation that we must avoid at all costs. So as organizations, we also need to collaborate to empower our constituents. Our professional members are the first part, but there is a lot of beyond that. Our communities, the people that work with our communities and the rest of Canada. So we have, as professionals, we have I would say, a duty to be able to try to help the rest of society and bring everybody together as well. Because in the end, what we want is to build a better society, not just to build better technology. I'm a techie, so sometimes you focus too much on technology, but in the end, what we want is to have a better technology that drives towards a better society. So that is my short version, and I'll be glad to take any questions if there are any. And I think I made it on time.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
All
now
right.
I can now. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been this is my field. I like anything that has to do with technology, and like you said, technology is a great equalizer and it can level the playing field because it's the same information that everyone will get from there. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, do we have any questions for Mr. Carlos? Any questions? Yeah, the call to action. Yes, we love the call to action. Very informative. Appreciate all the insightful nuggets shared. And
Yeah, and
thank you
I think
again.
it's quite important to realize that even though we may feel that this is fantastic, we have to realize that it's not necessarily fantastic for everybody. So having the empathy for the people that are not able to connect or benefit from this, and how can we get there?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so you also did a great job and they're not asking questions. They understand. Okay,
Very
there's one
clear.
question. There's one that just came in. Anything companies or leaders can do to make sure the technology gap does not widen? There's already a gap. How do we as leaders ensure it doesn't continue to get bigger?
Yeah, I would say the most important part is to provide training and access to the technology, especially companies, because the companies will benefit greatly from if their employees are manage to get their productivity up, but not to focus on these technologies for cost reduction, to focus more on probably more market access. In the case of Canada, we needed productivity increases and to reach more markets. So, but the access to training and the access to the technologies would probably be the most important ones.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And I see even in the elementary schools, that they loan them laptops for their duration Chromebooks for the duration of that school year. And I'm like, okay, we didn't have access to this when we were growing up, so this
Mm-hmm.
is a step in the right direction. And I see how they use the tech responsibly and all of that. So I think that's a very good step. And I agree with you. Yeah, making the tech available and then training people on how to use those tech.
Mm-hmm.
Very profound. Very, very profound. Thank you, Mr. Carlos. I
Thank you.
guess we will see you tomorrow at the physical event.
You bet.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
all right, thank you. All right. We'll go